The world is thrown into chaos. In the heart of the city, a monstrous figure unleashes a devastating wave of raw power, the blue energy erupting outwards, shattering everything in its path as a lone warrior is violently thrown back. The news travels fast, whispered in hushed, urgent tones. Hyungnim, the raid. The outcome is a single damning word that hangs heavy in the air. Failed. In a pristine, meticulously organized office, Yoon Myung-han is slumped over his desk, utterly collapsed from exhaustion. Even in his waking moments, the weight of his condition is a constant burden, forcing him into deep, worried contemplation. I must have dozed off again, Chairman Yoon Myung-han murmurs, finally stirring. How long was I asleep? His secretary replies with grim professionalism. You've been asleep for 23 hours and 46 minutes, sir. We were ready to take you to the hospital if you didn't wake after 24 hours, just as you ordered. The secretary slides a folder across the desk. Sir, there are two things I must inform you of. First, a patient has regained consciousness from the eternal slumber. Chairman Yu's eyes widen slightly. An eternal slumber patient? Woke up? Yes, the secretary confirms, pointing to a file. The document contains a photo of a somber-looking woman. That patient is Hunter Sung Jinwoo's mother. The gears in Yoon Myung-han's mind turn with lightning speed. Does that mean he has the ability to cure eternal slumber? He pushes the thought aside for a moment, his voice firm. All right, what's the second thing? Just then, a butler opens the office door. The young lady is here. A young woman with a sharp bob cut enters, a knowing smirk on her face as she looks at her father. Since when, she asks playfully, have you been like that? Meanwhile, the terrible scene the world is reacting to unfolds with brutal clarity. A colossal, bandaged hand smashes down, crushing a smaller armored warrior. Yori screams, his face a mask of pure agony and shock. He's swallowed whole, pulled into the cavernous, tooth-lined maw of a titanic beast. But the beast itself recoils, letting out a pained roar as a glowing projectile strikes its jaw. The city has become a war zone. Tanks roll down the streets, their cannons firing with thunderous booms. They unleash a barrage against two massive horned stone giants, the shells exploding against their rocky hides as helicopters circle above. The air is thick with the continuous, deafening chatter of heavy machine gun fire, a desperate attempt to hold back the monstrous tide. From the heart of the chaos, a powerful figure roars in frustration. Those weapons are no use to monsters. What are you all waiting for? Go destroy it! The Japanese hunters join the fray. Kane Minoru clash with the enraged, armored giant below. It won't be able to read our movements if I blind it, Akanai shouts, launching a blindingly fast slash with a glowing blade, aiming to disorient their massive foe. The monstrous figure's glowing blue eyes narrow, tracking the impossibly fast movements, its power surging. Kanai's eyes flare with crimson light as she senses the attack, a sudden, powerful reaction to her strategy. With a deafening crash, the giant unleashes a devastating sweep of its own, its raw power tearing through the city street as the hunters narrowly evade the blow. How can it be so fast with that size, Kanai thinks, shocked by the giant's impossible agility. It's absurd. From a news helicopter circling high above the city, a reporter's voice crackles with urgency. We are currently reporting live from Tokyo. It's a terrible scene that can even be seen from this distance. Miles away, Sung Jinwoo sits on his couch, watching the broadcast. The news anchor's voice is grim. It resembles hell. The whole country is paying close attention to the hunters' effort in stopping this disaster. Jinwoo's expression is hard as stone. At this rate, he thinks, the memory of another failed raid flashing in his mind, just like the Jeju Island raid. The whole of Asia could be in danger. A single, urgent thought cuts through the noise. I should hurry. As he watches the news report on the uncontrollable disaster unfolding in Tokyo, a quiet voice pleads from behind him. Don't go. He turns to see his sister Jin-ah, standing in the doorway, her voice trembling. Oppa, don't go. What do you mean? He is confused as he looks back at her. She replies, you are about to leave. Her expression a mixture of worry and quiet contemplation. Jinwoo's gaze is intense, a silent storm of thought swirling behind his eyes as he looks at his sister. He finally breaks the tension as he stands up. No, I'm not going anywhere, he says, his voice softening. I've been working too much lately, so I'm planning to rest for a while. He walks over to Jinna, gently placing a hand on her head. Don't worry, he says, offering a comforting smile. Later, at a quiet, serene park, empty and peaceful, Sung Jinwoo sits alone on a bench, seemingly lost in thought. But he's not alone. "Beru," he says quietly. The ant shadow soldier materializes beside him. "Yes, Your Majesty. I mean, Lord." Beru corrects himself instantly, his loyalty absolute. "Are you watching dramas instead of guarding Jinho?" Jinwoo asks, a hint of amusement in his tone. Beru's glowing purple eyes remain fixed. "I could tell." "How's Jinho doing?" Jinwoo asks. "There is nothing odd with her behavior, my lord," Beru reports. Jinwoo's gaze drifts. She must have developed a trauma. He remembers the terror on her face from the school gate. "She has never once stopped me from going, except for my first raid 4 years ago." As he walks, lost in memory, he thinks, "What do I do?" A sleek black car hums as it pulls up nearby. The car comes to a sudden stop with a sharp squeak of tires. "Huh." Jinwoo looks up, his thoughts interrupted. Cut to a massive, modern skyscraper, the headquarters of a corporate titan. Inside, Jinwoo sits, his expression stern and wary. "What business do you have with me?" he asks bluntly. Chairman Yu Myung-han offers a polite, composed smile. "Nice to meet you, Hunter Sung Jinwoo," an unseen aide says. The man himself speaks, his voice calm and steady. "I'm Yu Myung-han, of the Yujin Construction." Chairman Yu Myung-han slides a document across the table. As Jinwoo looks at it, a silent exclamation mark flashes in his mind. It's a blank check. "I'm not an arrogant person who believes money can buy anything," the chairman says smoothly, "especially if the person I'm talking to is an S-rank hunter." He closes his eyes, his smile sincere and humble. "So I'd be grateful if you would consider this as my token of sincerity." Jinwoo's eyes narrow, his focus absolute as he assesses the man before him. Whatever he is going to say must be confidential, Jinwoo thinks, his mind racing. It's not something like a guild invitation. He cuts straight to the point. "What do you want to buy from me?" Chairman Yu Myung-han pauses, his expression turning grave as he prepares to reveal his hand. He looks Jinwoo dead in the eye, his voice low and heavy with meaning. "I suffer from the same illness your mother has." In the vast empty meeting room, Jinwoo asks, "Is Jinho aware of this?" The chairman's answer is swift and decisive. "Excluding my physician, only 3 people, including me, my wife, and my secretary, know about this." A subtle, satisfied smile touches Jinwoo's lips. "So, now it's 4. The chairman sees the understanding in Jinwoo's eyes and gives a slight, knowing smile in return. "Yes." While searching for a cure everywhere, the chairman continues, his voice filled with the weight of his long, desperate journey, "I found the only person in this world that has ever recovered from this illness." He leans forward, his gaze piercing. "I don't think it's a coincidence that the patient happens to be your mother. What I want from you is the truth," Chairman Yu Myung-han says, his voice a sincere plea. "If you help me, I will never forget your kindness." Jinwoo looks down, his face a mask of contemplation as he weighs the offer. The air in the room is electric. An intense, silent stare-down unfolds between the 2 men, one desperate for a cure, the other holding the key. A choice hangs in the balance, a decision that could change everything. A choice has to be made. The world watches in horror as Japan burns. From a news helicopter high above the chaos, the scene is apocalyptic. Massive explosions tear through the city skyline, plumes of fire and smoke blotting out the sky. Inside the chopper, the crew is barely holding it together. "This is gruesome," the cameraman mutters, his lens fixed on the devastation below. The pilot grips his harness, his face a mask of terror. They are destroying buildings and ripping out trees. It's like they're trying to erase all traces of life. But the true horror is far worse. His voice cracks as he delivers the chilling report. Above all, they are eating the people. On the ground, it's a scene straight out of a nightmare. 2 colossal giants, horned and monstrous, rampage through the city streets. One smashes its fist into a skyscraper, while the other brandishes a massive axe. The military's abandoned tanks are little more than toys beneath their feet. From a safe distance, observers trade desperate intel. "Then what about us?" one panics. "We're safe as long as we keep our distance," another replies grimly. It's been confirmed by multiple researchers, so it's trustworthy. Their attention is fixed on one target in particular. A massive, swirling S-rank gate of purple energy tears a hole in reality, and standing guard is the largest of the giants. The largest one among them, an analyst reports, is the only one guarding the gate while the other giants are scattered everywhere. It's either waiting for someone or defending the gate. And from the beast itself, a single, detached thought cuts through the chaos, its glowing red eyes surveying the destruction it's causing. Not like I would know the reason. From another vantage point, a spotter peers through a high-powered scope, sweat beading on his brow. It's my personal opinion, but that one doesn't feel alive, he reports, his voice tight. It's definitely breathing and moving, but it's like a machine moving according to its program. His superior scoffs. A machine, huh? If it really was a machine, the cannons would have worked. The grim reality sets in. Only 2 of the 30 giants have been terminated. The pilot asks the question on everyone's mind. How long has it been since the dungeon break? The answer is bleak. It's been 2 days now. As another building burns, a single desperate thought hangs in the air. A prayer from a world on the brink. I wonder if they can stop this before the whole world gets destroyed. Meanwhile, back in Korea, a different kind of explosion is happening. What? Are you saying you want to go to Japan? Jinho is in utter disbelief, his eyes wide with shock, as he confronts Sung Jinwoo. Jinho leans forward, his voice trembling with urgency. Didn't you see the news? It's different from Jeju Island. Monsters of this size are abnormal, Hyungnim. But Jinwoo remains seated, calm and collected, his arms crossed. A confident smirk plays on Jinwoo's lips. If I succeed, he declares, his ambition laid bare, the name of the Ajin Guild will be recognized by the whole world. Jinho is stunned into silence by the sheer audacity. Jinwoo's gaze hardens slightly. But still, Jinho's bravado melts into genuine fear for his friend. Even Jinho, who always trusted me, is worrying about this. Jinwoo thinks to himself, recognizing the gravity of the situation. This disaster is really, Jinho yields. Okay then, Hyungnim. Suddenly, Jinho's fear transforms into fierce loyalty. I am going too, he shouts, his determination absolute. Jinwoo looks at him, a hint of amusement in his eyes. Jinho speaks. The Red Gate incident, the Jeju Island raid, and the double lair incident that happened recently. Did you notice the similarities between these news articles? Jinwoo is taken aback. What? No, I guess. Jinho grabs a framed newspaper clipping, the headline blaring, New S-Rank Hunter, with a picture of a shocked Jinwoo. I'm not in any of it, Hyungnim, he cries, as if trying to prove he's not a liability. The memory of that day flashes in his mind. News article, New S-Rank Hunter. In a desperate, emotional plea, Jinho throws open a scrapbook filled with articles detailing every one of Jinwoo's legendary feats. Tears of pride stream down his face as he confesses, It's embarrassing for me to say this, but you are my only source of pride. The only thing I can boast about is staying by your side. Jinwoo looks on, a little embarrassed. I don't think that's something you'd expect from a millionaire's son. That's why I want to be with you wherever you go, Jinho pleads, his hands outstretched. Please, take me with you. Jinwoo simply raises an eyebrow. You were against it just now. Do you even remember where I said I was going to? Jinho's expression becomes deadly serious. His loyalty is unwavering. I trust you, he says, his voice filled with conviction. So if it's safe for you, I will be safe too. A soft, knowing chuckle escapes Jinwoo's lips. He turns away casually. I was just joking. Why would I go to Japan at this time? Jinho is left utterly bewildered. Hyungnim? As Jinwoo reaches the door, he glances back. You should go back home now. The door clicks. Hyungnim! Jinho calls out, but he's gone. Jinho is left alone, his expression somber, contemplating the weight of his Hyungnim's path. Walking home, Jinwoo reflects on his battle with the architect. I couldn't use the shadow soldiers, but the architect was around the same level as me. The realization hits him hard. That means there are still many more that exceed me. He opens the door to his apartment. It's a big world we live in, he thinks. There will be plenty of people stronger than me. He takes off his shoes, a heavy weight on his shoulders. I should discard the thought that it will be resolved if I go. I'm not a hero, he calls out. I'm home. From the kitchen, his mom peeks out with a bright smile. You're here? You're gonna eat dinner, right? A choice. The word hangs in his mind, heavy and absolute. At the dinner table, a feast is laid out, but there's an empty seat. "Where's Jinho?" Jinwoo asks. His mom replies, "She said she's not hungry. Yes, I have to make a choice." The thought solidifies in his mind with unshakable certainty. The scene shifts back. A hand rests near a blank check on a polished desk. It's Jinwoo, speaking to the powerful chairman Yoo Myung-han. "I'm sorry," Jinwoo says, his voice firm. "I don't think there's anything I can help you with." Chairman Yoo is stunned, his face a picture of disbelief. Then how did your mother recover completely?" he stammers, desperate for an answer. "Chairman, if I really knew how, and if I really wanted to, I could earn from it. I wouldn't have kept quiet." The unspoken threat hangs in the air. He has the power, but he won't be bought. Jinwoo turns to leave. "I have to go now." The chairman, defeated, simply replies, "Understood." A swift whoosh, and Jinwoo is gone. The elevator descends, the numbers counting down from 28. Standing in it, Jinwoo lets out a long, weary sigh. He's Jinho's father, though. The thought gives him pause. He closes his eyes, the weight of the world on him. He thinks about the chairman. "But I don't know him. I don't know what kind of person Chairman Yoo Myung-han is, or if he really suffers from that illness." He pictures the 3 remaining vials of the divine water of life. The remaining divine water of life's use is limited. He thinks, his resolve hardening. "So I have to use it wisely." Back at his own dinner table, the decision crystallizes. His offers were enticing, but it didn't move my heart. He looks at the food before him. If this is the time I have to make a choice for everything, I should. He takes a bite of egg roll. The taste, the texture, it floods his senses with a wave of emotion. A single word forms in his mind. "Mom!" He stands abruptly. "I'll be back." His purpose is clear. There are still plenty of people who are stronger than me, he thinks, his eyes burning with determination. Even so, as long as my growth doesn't stop, I have to be on the battleground to become stronger. His mother looks after him, a sad smile on her face. "Your father used to hurry during meals when someone needed him. The parallel is unmistakable." "I'll help you pack after you finish your food," his mother calls out gently. He stands over his sister's bed, a soft rustle from under the blankets. She's sleeping peacefully. The full moon hangs in the night sky, a silent witness. The door to Jinna's room creaks open. "Jinna, are you asleep?" he asks softly. A muffled, sarcastic yes comes from the blankets. "We need to talk." Her reply is firm. "I need to sleep." He sits beside her bed, the weight of his confession heavy in the quiet room. Where do I even start? He looks at his sleeping sister, the words finally coming out in a quiet rush. "I almost died recently." He sits on the edge of her bed, lost in thought. A faint blue glow emanates from under her blankets. He tries to explain, his expression comically terrified. "No, I mean, I almost died all the time, but it was like I was really going to die this time. It was a little dangerous." His expression softens, his eye glowing with purple energy. "Anyway, I made it out alive," he says, a deep sense of relief in his voice. "I am grateful for all those times I came back home alive." He gently places a hand on her head, his voice a solemn vow. "So this time, I will come back too." A single tear escapes Jinna's eye. She was awake the whole time, a soft pat. "Thank you, Jinna," he whispers. She cries silently into her pillow. "Thank you for stopping me from going this time." She knew. You would have left anyway. Jinwoo stands, his resolve absolute, his eyes blaze with purple light as shadows swirl around him. "Yes," he declares, his voice echoing with power, "and I'll be back." He sits by her bed one last time, his hand on her arm. Behind him, the spectral form Baru, its eyes glowing with the same purple intensity. "Don't worry," he promises. "I'll protect you no matter the distance." Days later. Gogun, he stands at a podium, ready to address the world. The press is in a frenzy. Cameras flashing, reporters packed into the conference hall. The scene is set for a monumental announcement. Jinwoo stands at the podium, delivering a passionate speech. A historic handshake seals the deal. An airplane soars through the sky, leaving Korea behind. At the airport, Jinho struggles forward, weighed down by a massive backpack stuffed with his golden armor, his heavy footsteps echoing through the terminal. Suddenly, Jinwoo stops, a look of realization on his face. He senses it, a familiar, determined presence. He turns to see Jinho, who is now being mobbed by onlookers. Phones out, capturing the strange sight of the Vice Guild Master carrying his own gear. Jinwoo lets out a sigh of exasperation. "You." A slight, knowing smirk crosses his face. They walk side by side through the terminal, flanked by suited guards. Above them, a massive purple emblem hangs proudly. Ajin. Sung Jinwoo, S rank. Ajin Guildmaster. Yu Jinho, D rank. Ajin Vice Guildmaster. The duo is ready. Japan awaits. The streets of Japan are a war zone. In the aftermath of the Giants' initial assault, the military scrambles to manage the crisis, but the scale of the devastation is overwhelming. The triage stations are overflowing. A desperate official shouts that there's no more room for patients, only enough space for 3 or 4 more, while over 10 critically wounded civilians can't even be moved. The situation is dire, as soldiers urge the remaining civilians to evacuate, warning that the Giants are heading their way. One bandaged man makes a stand. He refuses to leave, having promised his wife he would stay by the side of the fallen until their last breath. It's a moment of profound tragic loyalty in the face of certain death. His sacrifice inspires one of the soldiers. Seeing the man's resolve, the soldier declares that he can't escape knowing citizens are still here. He too will remain. His decision comes a second too late. A deafening Tiji echoes through the street as he desperately screams for everyone to find cover. The Giants have arrived. Colossal, shadowy figures with glowing red eyes loom over the city, grabbing buildings and people with a horrifying, menacing grin. The civilians in the back of a transport truck can only look up in sheer terror. Giants! Fire! The command rings out as the soldiers on a nearby rooftop unload everything they have. A hail of gunfire streaks across the night sky, peppering the hide of a massive, shadowy beast. A sudden, blinding flash erupts from the chaos. A soldier lets out a grunt of pain as he's hit by an unseen force. He screams, "No!" as he's thrown through the air, desperately trying to shield the civilians he swore to protect. A monstrous, shadowy fist slams into the scene with a sickening asterisk, Kwang asterisk. The impact is catastrophic. The giant's body is sent hurtling through the air, crashing through multiple skyscrapers with a deafening, continuous roar of destruction. The soldier can only stare in abject horror, his face a mask of pure terror at the overwhelming power he just witnessed. The cityscape is a ruin. The massive, red-skinned giant lies amidst the rubble, seemingly defeated by an even greater force that has just entered the battlefield. From the smoke and shadows, a new terror emerges. A colossal, shadowy dragon with glowing purple eyes and wings descends from the sky, letting out a guttural, rumbling growl. A soldier looks up, his face pale with shock and confusion. What is that? A person slides to his side, pointing towards the unfolding chaos. It's dangerous! You need to move! This is too close to the hospital! Debris rains down as the civilians who chose to stay look up in alarm at the newcomer. A massive chunk of concrete hurtles towards them, but before it can hit, a figure moves. With a loud, Yu Jinho throws himself in front of an elderly couple, his armored arm taking the full brunt of the impact. "I'll stand by while helping them evacuate," Jinho shouts, his face a mask of determined grit as he protects the terrified civilians. From the center of the chaos, Sung Jinwoo calmly steps forward, a vibrant purple aura erupting around him. He looks at Jinho and the others, his glowing eyes filled with absolute confidence. All right. A shadow construct erupts with a piercing shriek, immediately clashing with another giant in a deafening explosion of force. The full might of the shadow army is unleashed. A colossal shadow beast manifests, tearing the city apart as it rises. Jinwoo himself becomes a blur, his daggers drawn as he dashes forward at impossible speed. His blades meet the enemy in a rapid flurry of strikes, shattering their defenses. He moves like a phantom, a whirlwind of purple energy and black shadows, cutting through the battlefield. With a mighty roar, a giant is sent reeling, as Jinwoo's power slams into it with a thunderous quang. Meanwhile, across the world in East America, Maryland State, a group of powerful hunters watch the events unfold. One of them looks at a screen, surprised. Whoa, so Sung Jinwoo went to Japan? Seated at a lavish dinner, two of the world's most powerful hunters discuss the situation. I heard Lady Selner didn't even upgrade one stage of Sung Jinwoo's power, one says. The other, a muscular man with dark skin, scoffs. He will die with that level. The first man continues. We all upgraded our powers through Lady Selner. He must be well aware that there are limits to a normal hunter's abilities. The dark-skinned hunter smirks. He must be so proud of his powers, the other asks. But he reawakened, right? Are you putting insects and giants on the same level? The dark-skinned hunter flashes a cruel, predatory grin, his eye glowing. Hunters that are overconfident with their powers will die, he muses. Who knew getting an ant would shorten his life? How ironic. The morbid conversation continues. I'll bet my yacht that he will die in a day. A momentary flinch. I'll bet my house that he dies in 2 days. Another starts to chime in. But he's cut off. Someone speaks, his voice sharp, causing the bald hunter beside him to look over in shock. Do you all really think so? Thomas Andre, with a confident smirk on his face. I'll bet the scavenger building, he declares, the red glow in his glasses flaring, that he survives. The mood in the room sours. He steers the conversation back to their own problems, the S-rank gate in their territory. The dungeon break is tomorrow. How many do you reckon will survive among us? The tension is broken by annoyance. That bastard, he's got a talent in ruining moods. Andre simply continues his meal, a casual thought crossing his mind. Hey, maybe I would have had more fun in Japan than in the United States. He looks out the window at the ominous, swirling vortex that has appeared in the sky above their own city. Well, when tomorrow comes, he says with a dark smile, this place will be fun in its own way. Back in Japan, the city is burning. The devastation is absolute. A news reporter, broadcasting live from a helicopter, screams into his camera, his face a mask of sheer disbelief. Viewers, can you believe this? The unbelievable is happening. A giant, wreathed in glowing purple particles, crumbles and dissolves. Hunter Sung Jinwoo's summoned creatures are defeating the giants. It's more than a defeat. It's a slaughter. A giant screams in agony as it's swarmed by thousands of shadow ants. The giants are getting devoured, eaten by the ants. A child is running in terror. A giant lunging for her with a terrible roar. Just as it's about to grab her, a shadow intervenes with a sharp, tearing sound. A bolt of purple lightning strikes true, a wave of dark energy blasting the monster back. The giant roars in fury, but it's met by the cold, emotionless power of Jinwoo's shadows. Igris, the Shadow Knight, leaps into action, his lightning-infused blade glowing as he protects the terrified child clinging to his back. Another shadow soldier, a hulking beast of a warrior, lets out a guttural growl as it engages. Iron screams as he charges. Iron, the massive, axe-wielding shadow, brings his weapon down with a deafening clang. Tank, the hulking bear-like shadow, smashes another enemy into oblivion. The child, frozen in fear, looks up as a massive shadow looms over her. Iron lets out a powerful roar. He smirks as he dispatches the threat. Then, Igris turns. He gently pats the small child's head. A quiet, reassuring gesture in the middle of the apocalypse. Jinwoo stands amidst the rubble, thinking, Iron! He's excited now that he's upgraded. Jinwoo turns to the soldier he's been protecting. It's a relief that he's doing a good job, he thinks to himself. Thank you. The soldier can only stammer. He looks at the hand of the man who saved him, his voice trembling with gratitude. Thank you for Sav. Jinwoo simply gives him a thumbs up and a confident smile. With a decisive chiak, he says, You good, brave soldier. The soldier can only stare, overwhelmed, as he whispers, thank you. Jinwoo turns to his loyal friend. Jinho, take him and finish up the evacuation. Yu Jinho snaps to attention, his face beaming with pride. Okay, Hyungnim. As Jinho leads the last of the survivors away, Jinwoo remains behind, standing alone amidst the ruins and the glowing embers of his power. His purple aura flares to life, his eyes glowing with terrifying intensity. He looks out over the field of defeated giants. Now then, let's get started for real. The air hums with power, as the full might of the Shadow Monarch is finally unleashed. With one single earth-shattering command, he calls to the fallen, Arise. In a high-tech command center deep within Japan, the atmosphere is electric. An operator, headset clamped on, screams into his mic, his face alight with pure, unadulterated triumph. Nagoyashi, we're retaking the city. The reports pour in, a tidal wave of unbelievable news. Nakasu Gawashi, we found the giant's body. one operator yells. Another shouts, "Shizuokashi. We've retaken the city." The reports stack up, a litany of impossible victories. Dakayama ANDNAG ANOSHI 2. The man in charge, his face a mask of utter shock, can only stammer, "What?" His mind flashes back, a cold dread washing over him as a single, terrifying thought crystallizes. A bead of sweat traces a path down his temple. Goto Ryuji, he wasn't wrong. The memory is vivid, sharp. The overwhelming presence he felt at the airport centered around a single, unforgettable detail. A pair of piercing, glowing purple eyes. He recalls his immediate assessment of the man behind those eyes, Sung Jinwoo. I've seen countless hunters, but, he had thought, a chill running down his spine. He's on a different level. Back in the present, the same official stands before Jinwoo. The urgency of the situation etched on his face. "Nice to meet you," he begins, forgoing all pleasantries. "This is quite urgent, so please excuse my directness." He lays out the grim reality. "The Giants are coming to Osaka right now," he announces, his voice grave. "I request that you focus your defense around Osaka." He glances at Jinwoo, his mind racing with a desperate strategy. Regardless of his strength, even for him, defeating all of the Giants is impossible. While he's focused on defense, we'll try to negotiate with other countries. Jinwoo's profile is sharp against the dim light, his expression unreadable. His response is quiet, but it lands with the force of a physical blow. "No, I refuse." A wave of collective shock ripples through the Japanese officials. Their eyes are wide, mouths agape, completely stunned by his flat denial. The lead official, drenched in a cold sweat, stammers out the question on everyone's mind. "Then what's your plan?" Back to the present, a single thought exploding in his head. "I don't believe it." The sheer audacity of it hits him like a lightning strike, the horrifying, unbelievable truth dawning on him. He truly wants to defeat all the Giants alone, what he's doing right now. The thought finishes with a jolt of personal recognition. Was what I was going to do. Jinwoo simply stands there, his glowing purple eye betraying a flicker of intense concentration. An immense power begins to coalesce. A brilliant white of pure energy forms, radiating a storm of ethereal purple light. His eye glows brighter, the power reaching its peak. So, the power erupts. His form shifts, becoming something more primal, more menacing. His eyes glow a stark white, a savage grin spreading across his face, filled with razor-sharp teeth. For a breathtaking moment, a new form is revealed, a colossal, armored sovereign of shadow, radiating an aura of absolute dominance. And then, the moment passes. Jinwoo stands alone, back in his own form, his hand gently touching his neck in quiet contemplation. The silence hangs heavy in the air. He turns his attention to the fallen. "I'll just name you number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. He begins the grim task of claiming his new soldiers. Baru reports in. "My king, another enemy has been defeated." Jinwoo's response is cold, efficient. Then he'll be number 6. He finds Jinho camped out amidst the ruins. His plan is already in motion. "I'll move using shadow exchange and make them into soldiers." He turns to his friend. "You sleep first. I'll be back soon." Jinho, ever loyal, simply nods. "Okay." A quiet confidence radiates from Jinwoo. "It's easy so far," he says to the empty ruins, a dangerous promise in his voice. "But we're just getting started." And just like that, the tide of the war turns. Across the country, Jinwoo's shadow soldiers, newly risen from the very giants they fought, join the fray, overwhelming their former brethren. A giant is blasted point blank, its massive form erupting in a violent whoosh of energy as one of the shadows strikes a fatal blow. This is a battle Jinwoo was born to win. A war of attrition is perfect for me, given my supply of magic power. The outcome is inevitable. The giants stood no chance against shadow soldiers, who healed as soon as they were defeated. They were an unstoppable, regenerating legion of death. But the S-Rank Gates breach caused a cascade failure. The main issue is the other dungeon breaks that occurred because of the S-Rank break. Other low-rank creatures were taking over the city, so evacuation and suppression had to be done at the same time. The aftermath is a scene of utter desolation. A ruined city stands silent under a grim sky, a tomb of concrete and steel. Jinwoo and Jinho walk through the wreckage, the sound of their heavy footsteps echoing through the silence. Jinho looks out at the endless destruction, his voice heavy. "It's all ruins, young Nim." Jinwoo's reply is a simple, stark agreement. "Yeah." A figure emerges from the shadows to greet them. "You're here." It's a female hunter. Jinwoo asks the critical question. "Miss Hanakawa, there's no hunters here, right?" Her answer is bleak. "Yes, there's no one in Tokyo except me." She elaborates on the grim situation. The extent of Tokyo's damage can't even be validated, and the giants all spread out from here. She briefs him on the global catastrophe. There are 16 S ranks, including you, 6 in Japan, 2 in China, 3 in Canada, 2 in India, and 1 each in Russia and England. There are 6 groups from each guild. The world's strongest are stretched impossibly thin, and the losses are already catastrophic. As you probably know, the deceased S ranks are Yuri Orlov from Russia, Hanja Gokui from the Evil Spirit Guild, and Lucas Hoyle from Canada. It's a tragic outcome. The giants rarely move individually, putting them on par with an A-rank gate boss. Jinwoo listens, his face grim as he processes the intel. 3 S ranks are dead, so A-rank deaths and below aren't even being talked about. There are 31 giants, and one of them is crossing the ocean to China. Miss Hanakawa looks at him, a hint of hope in her voice. "We don't have enough rankers to defend Japan, but thanks to you, most giants are already annihilated. Other hunters are fighting the remaining giant, alongside your shadows." Jinwoo's decision is made. A quiet resolve settles over him. "All right, then." As if summoned by his words, the final threat reveals itself. A colossal, horned beast of shadow and ruin, the sovereign of the giants. That makes him the last one. But as Jinwoo looks upon the devastated city, a strange sense of familiarity washes over him. But this sight is familiar. Where did I see it? The memory hits him. This devastated, burning city. It resembles the demon castle. His mind races, connecting the dots. If the destroyed city of the demon castle was the system's construction, he wonders, his purple eyes glinting, what did the architect want to express through it? He dismisses the thought. The architect is already dead and gone, and he hasn't made contact after that, so it may have been his real body. There are no answers to be had from that ghost. His fist clenches, raw power gathering. Even if the demon castle did show me the future, I'll just prevent it. It's what I've trained for. His purpose is clear, his ambition absolute. I came all the way here because I always desired a power with no equal. He turns, his voice ringing with command. "Seems like we're all ready. Let's go." Miss Hanakawa looks confused. "What? But the other hunters haven't joined us yet." A faint smirk plays on Jinwoo's lips, his eyes glowing. "No, they already have." Elsewhere, other hunters are pinned down. A powerful blade slams into the ground. Stab. Kanai is thrown to the ground, exhausted and furious. "Ha! This is annoying!" Minoru tries to rally her spirits. "At least we're alive. Think positively." But she can only stare in awe and disbelief at the battle unfolding around them. "I know, but they're pressing onward, dominating every giant in their path. The very giants we couldn't even get close to. It's like a dream. No, a nightmare." The 2 hunters can only watch from a distance as the Shadow Army wages war. "They're leaving the cleanup to us." Kanai seethes with frustration. It's infuriating, those damn summons. And what summons they are. Igris, Tank, and the other marshals of the Shadow Army advance with relentless, synchronized steps, their purple energy cutting through the darkness. With a deafening whoosh, they descend upon the battlefield. Their arrival is an explosion of pure destructive force. Biru, the Ant King, joins the fray, a whirlwind of claws and violet lightning, manifesting from the chaos. The shockwave from their landing alone is catastrophic. The ground shatters, buildings crumble, and human hunters are sent flying like ragdolls. Thud. Hanakawa can only watch, her face a mask of pure terror at the power being unleashed. A legion of shadow beasts, wolves of pure amethyst energy, tear through the remaining giants. It's a symphony of destruction, a maelstrom of shadow and light as the full might of the army is brought to bear. An immense force of dark energy, infused with violet power, slams into the last giant. The power is overwhelming, a tidal wave of shadow that consumes everything in its path. KO. OM. The battle is over. High above the chaos, Baru swoops through the sky, his work complete. Swoosh! The force of their departure is as violent as their arrival, a final zoom of power that sends the remaining hunters scattering. Jinwoo stands amidst the dissipating energy, a subtle, satisfied smile on his face. "Ah, it's done," he addresses his unseen army. "Good job, everyone." Baru bows, his voice filled with reverence. "Thank you, my king." Jinwoo turns to his friend. "Jinho, stay somewhere safe with Ms. Hanakawa." Yu Jinho nods, his trust absolute. "Okay, young Nim." The two of them trudge off into the ruins, leaving Jinwoo alone to face the final act. He stands atop the wreckage of the city, a solitary figure against the apocalypse. His voice rings out, a quiet command that shakes the world. "Now, arise!" The ground erupts. With a deafening oosh, a colossal shadow, the subjugated giant king, claws its way from the depths, its scale dwarfing the ruined skyscrapers around it. From every shadow, on every piece of rubble, his army manifests. An endless legion of darkness, their purple eyes igniting the twilight. They fill the horizon, a silent, terrifying army awaiting their master's command. Jinwoo raises his hand, his voice echoing with absolute authority, addressing the legions of darkness that are his and his alone. "My shadows." His arm glows with golden light, his body wreathed in a violet aura as he lunges forward, his command a thunderous roar that signals the end. "Charge!"